So Shrishti is an
One second,
advocate
one second.
from Delhi High Court, and she's practicing in RERA NCLT and taking care of more or less many states in North India like Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, NCR, part of Uttar Pradesh. Yeah, Shrishti, over to you, please.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my views. So I would like to start with very basics of as to what is a booking account. So some people, there is no fixed definition of, as you can see, if you go and see what is booking amount. So RERA in its provisions does not provide for any fixed definition as to what will amount as the booking amount. So if we put it into very simple terms, then booking amount is in the nature of a token amount or something that a buyer will pay before he enters into a contract with the developer and builder. So it is to ensure that the deal will go through and you have showed interest in by paying that money to the developer. So now the next question that a lot of buyers have is that what is the cap or what is the maximum limit that can be collected as a booking amount before a contract is entered into by the developer and the home buyer? I think, okay. So now that question is very well put and covered by RERA under the provisions of Section 13, wherein it does not provide directly as to there is a cap to the booking amount, but it clearly states that before entering into a contract or an agreement for sale or a builder buyer agreement, the maximum value or the limit by which the builder can collect money is 10% the total cost of the apartment, plot, or building, as the case may be. So herein we can see that Section 13 has indirectly covered the maximum limit that can be collected or availed by a developer. Now, in most of the cases, developers always collect the maximum limit before entering into a contract. Now, what is the issues pertaining to booking amount? So now in 90% of the cases, if you see, the deal will go through after a booking amount is paid, because booking amount is also paid when the buyer is willing to buy the property. But now there may arise a situation like we saw in recent past, that where a situation like COVID-19 happened. So people had paid booking amount before the COVID-19 and the lockdown set in. And now they are into a financial crunch situation and they don't want to get through with the deal. Now, in such a scenario, how can they claim or whether they can claim that booking amount back or not? Or whether it's an obligation upon them that they have paid booking amount to sign the contract with the builder. Now, I'll cover different scenarios. So the first scenario that I'm covering is the home buyer wants to quit the deal before signature of the BVA, which is a very recent common arising trend among the home buyers right now, because a lot of people now have lost jobs. There is a slowdown in the market, and all these people who have paid booking amount before March are willing to quit from real estate projects. Now, this is a situation that is creating trouble not for the home buyers, but as well as the real estate developers who had expectations of taking more money or going through with the contract. Now, in such a case, the first document that any RERA authority or that will determine, or any other consumer forum that will decide whether you can seek a refund of the booking amount is the booking form or an application form. Now, all these booking forms or applications form or any other allotment letter, for example, any all of these documents generally in its terms and conditions cover situations where you want to cancel the property before entering into a BBA and you wish to seek the booking amount payment back. Now, in most of the cases, these terms and conditions are one-sided, because builder home buyers are very naive. They do not know when they're booking a property. In 90% of the cases, they want to buy the property, and that is why they've paid these 5 lakhs, 6 lakh, 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, depending on the total amount of the property. Now, in such a case, they do not focus very much in case they want to cancel the property before entering into a BVA. So this is the gray area where builders take advantages um, and put such one-sided terms and conditions in booking forms. Now, in case uh, in case a buyer wants to withdraw from such a deal before entering into a BBA on pretext of, let's say, Section 12, which says that the advertisement has to be a very genuine advertisement by the builder, and in case there is any issue with the advertisement or he has duped the buyers into booking a property, developer, let's say a section 13 or an 11, or he has collected more than 10% before entering into a BBA, in such cases, the home buyer will be given the whole booking amount back. Rather, there may be an element of compensation also sought as given in section 12. So in such scenarios, the booking amount will come back. But now in such a case where he is facing a financial hardship, let's say, in that case, RERA authorities will, in most of the cases, will take into account the terms and conditions given in the booking form, which may or may not be a one-sided. So in case they are one-sided, they will be determined by the RERA authority by going through terms. In case they are one-sided, then the buyer will get a benefit of it. In case they are not one-sided and a certain amount of deduction is allowed by the builder and the rest of the amount wants to be refunded to the buyer, in such a case, RERA authority will abide by the booking form terms and conditions. Now we'll move on to next scenario. So BBA refers to builder-buyer agreement. It may be flat buyer agreement. I have taken one contonation. It can be, it is used, it is denoted by different names throughout the country in different parts. Some call it as flat buyer agreement. Some call it as agreement for sale. So it is, this is the terminology, but it's the contract signed between a buyer and a builder stating the terms and conditions and obligations of both the parties with regard to the booked property, which will entail things like when will the property be delivered, which will also state the complete payment term plan for the buyer, whether the construction link, whether it is a one-time payment, whether it is 20% on the booking and 80% on the possession. So all of these obligations are listed in BBA, and it will also have a very important clause that we are discussing today, is whether BBA, where BBA or a builder buyer agreement has been signed, and then some payments have also been made by the home buyer above the booking amount, and then the home buyer wants to quit the project, then in such a scenario, how much refund will be entitled to a home buyer in such a scenario, which I will also be covering in my scenario 2 situation. So this is the factors that will be taken into account by RERA, which I had just gone through, that the booking form and the application form, in case a BBA has not been signed between the parties. The second situation will be and in case there are other commitments made by builder which are not in application form. In this recent judgment of Maharera Tribunal, wherein the agent had promised over the email to the buyer that in case you are not, you do not get the home loan, then we will refund your full-fledged booking amount. In that case, despite there being a different term in the application form, but a commitment made over email by the real estate agent on behalf of the builder was upheld by the Maharera Tribunal, stating that a full refund of the booking amount will be made. So all these conditions will be taken into account while the RERA authorities decide refund of a booking amount, in case a BBA or a builder buyer agreement is not signed between the parties. I'll move on to scenario 2. Now, maybe a situation where builder buyer agreement or a flat buyer agreement or a contract is signed between the parties, which is the home buyer and the developer. And now the home buyer wants to quit the project. See, we need to understand that a home buyer who has bought a property is also free to exit a property at any point of time. Now, there may be two situations where the buyer wants to quit the project. The first clear-cut situation where he wants to exit the project, which is also covered by Section 18, is where the date of possession has lapsed and the builder is not able to give the possession. Now, there has been a plethora of judgments with regard to this by different RERA authorities. The other factor is where there is no delay on part of the builder yet. There is no infringement in terms of any obligation casted upon the builder, but the home buyer was still exit the project because he may be facing a financial issue, or he's shifting from the country, or any other factor, personal or professional, that he wants to quit state deal. Now, in such a scenario, a lot of times home buyer face as to what will happen to the money they have paid of the cost price, or that may be 50%. So there is a lot of money that he or she has already paid. Now, what will happen to that money? Can the builder forfeit the whole amount? In such a scenario, we need to see that RERA does not have any explicit provision in such a case. It only states that it has to be as per the builder buyer agreement. Now, in case these builder buyer agreements are now in case that is a after 2016 and 17 when the RERA was implemented, then in such a case, there will be no issue because the terms of cancellation will be governed by the builder buyer agreements or the agreement to sale, which is governed by RERA authorities, and they have very fixed terminologies and they have fixed rules and regulations and obligations. So in that case, a certain forfeiture will be allowed and the amount will be refunded. The issue arises with regard to agreements or a situation where no agreement was entered upon and the deal was a pre-RERA deal. Now, in such a case, there are 100% chances that the agreement will have situation where the cancellation clause will be one-sided. The cancellation clause will state that the whole amount will be forfeited or a majority amount of the paid amount will be forfeited. Now, in such a case, home buyer gets into a flex as to whether I should exit a real estate deal or not. So in that case, we need to see that RERA does not even, though it does not give such a scenario, and the BBA may have one-sided terms and conditions, but RERAs have decided in most of the cases that there can be a deduction allowed because once the home buyer is quitting a real estate deal like this, that will also have implications on a developer. They have to resell that property to somebody again. So in that case, a certain amount of forfeiture is allowed, but an absolute forfeiture or a forfeiture above a certain cap is not permitted. So I'll just give you an overview with regard to such a scenario in the North India. So now, for example, Gurgaon RERA in Haryana has a specific regulation with this regard because they had a lot of judgments and situations coming to them where there were one-sided terms in the BBA and the buyer had wanted to quit the project. So now, after going through all these cases and scenarios for a while, I think last year, approximately 1.5 last year, they implemented a regulation under which they said that despite the fact there may be any terms and conditions decided in your builder buyer agreement, the deduction in case a buyer wants to quit the project where there is no fault of the promoter, then also the promoter cannot deduct more than 10% of the total regulation to refund the remaining amount. The only drawback here being that you may or may not be entitled to an interest. And in 90% of the cases, the RERA authority will not grant you interest on the amount that you have paid. You will get your principal back, but you will not be entitled to interest, which you are in case there is a delay in possession as per the section 18 of RERA. Now, I would like to just give a few pointers in terms of the recent judgment that is also the point of discussion here today, which is Ratul Lahiri versus Tata Housing. And in this, Maharera Tribunal overruled the judgment, an order of AO of the Maharera, stating that even despite the fact that there was no BBA signed between the parties or there was no agreement signed between the parties and the deal was a pre-RERA deal, so section 18 of RERA cannot be invoked. So Maharera Tribunal was very right in stating that where there are indirect actions and indirect commitments by the builder on the RERA website that he'll give possession by 2018, so that will amount to be as deemed date of possession. The only thing in my view is that they did not went into interpreting the section 18 very correctly, because if you see it, look at the language of section 18, it clearly states that the buyer can seek a refund of his paid amount in possession as per the terms of agreement. So that is one scenario where agreement is there and that clearly states the date of possession. And in case that has not been complied with, so you can seek a refund. But if you see the provision, then it also states as per the terms of agreement or as the case may be. So where the legislature used the term as the case may be, it went on to cover scenarios which were pre-RERA, where they envisaged, such scenarios where there will be a no BBA or the date of possession may have to be derived from any other document which will not be an agreement, which was the case in this present matter, which is Tata Housing, wherein he has committed before the Maharera that he will deliver by 2018, and he had verbally assured the home buyer that he will deliver in 2018, but there was no agreement between them. So as the case may be is such a wide terminology that it covers all kinds of scenarios, whether it's through email, whether it's a commitment made by a developer before the RERA tribunal, or there may be any other form in which he has given the impression to the home buyer that this particular date is the date of possession between the parties. This is also important as the case may be, because we can also see this also gives the second factor, which shows that the Section 18 refund is also to be applied before RERA. So this second ground taken by Tata Housing was that this is a deal pre-RERA and it was done under MOFA. And so, he cannot claim or he cannot invoke Section 18 for a refund. But where legislature used the word agreement and the case may be, they went on to cover such scenarios, keeping in mind that before RERA, there was no obligation on the builder to enter into a formal agreement between the parties. In present scenario, though they had done the deal under MOFA, which also states under Section 8 of the particular act that they cannot take more than 20% before entering into an agreement, and in the present case, the builder had taken more than 20%. So it shows two factors that scenarios are covered. Second part, that it is a retrospective effect of Section 18. The only factor that I think Maharera Tribunal should have dwelled into has been given compensation to home buyers, because the builder was in violation of MOFA as well as RERA. He had collected more than 20% as per MOFA also. He had collected more than 10% as per RERA also, and he had not entered into an agreement. So in such a case, some compensation should have been awarded to Ratul Lahiri above and beyond the refund given with interest. So that is the only critical viewpoint I have with regard to the judgment. Rest, it is a very sound.
Can you give your perspective? Suppose because of the COVID, somebody now wants to withdraw because he is not getting the loan. Whether the booking amount can be cancelled?
So see, I think we are trying to cover a very well asked questions by the home buyers these days. Rather, for the quite few time, I've been also getting a lot of queries from home buyers who had pre-booked the property before the March date. And now most of them want to quit the project because most of them have lost their jobs and there have been so much financial distress in the economy. So now, sir, in this such a scenario, as I also covered in my presentation, the first document that will come into place is the booking form or the application form. So now, if I give you an example, like when a builder is registering a project under Section 3, then the most asked or sought after document by the authorities is the BBA or the agreement to sale, which they have to make sure that it is as per the RERA rules and the regulations of a particular state, which are formulated as per the Central Act. But you see, a lot of times, rather in 90% of the cases, in their application forms, which is made for registration under Section 3, builders and developers are also supposed to give a copy of the booking form. They're also supposed to give a copy of the allotment letter, the application form, the payment receipts that they will issue. So now, in my opinion, when such things and such documents are being procured by the RERA authority while granting registrations, then it becomes obligatory on the RERA authorities to also go through the terms and conditions of a cancellation that builders put in these booking forms or applications forms which do not have a set format as per the current and rules, regulations and the Central Act. All rules and regulations in North India as well as in Maharashtra, there is a set format for agreement for sale, but there is no set format or there is no set principle to put certain terms and conditions in booking form or in an application form. So there is a lot of room for the developers and the builders to misuse these booking forms to put one-sided clauses. In the particular case of Omkar also, the authority went on to state that these terms and conditions were one-sided put in by the developer in the application form. And now when the buyer wanted to seek the refund, then it became problematic for somebody who had only signed it. He or she must have not read the terms and conditions, thinking now that RERA is into place, all these documents are valid on the part of the developer and builder. But the point that buyers fail to understand is that there is room for developers and builders to misuse these forms and application forms or booking forms because they are yet not very much regulated by the RERA authorities. All these forms are though taken by these RERA authorities while granting Section 3 registration, but they are never impugned the way an agreement to sale is impugned by RERA authorities. So now this lack on part of the RERA authorities to regulate such booking forms has led to such a condition where people want to cancel the project before an agreement of sale is entered upon. Now, in most of the cases, there will be some deduction in case there is no infringement of any obligation on part of the promoter. Let's say, for example, Section 12. So now there is no issue with regard to advertisement, veracity of advertisement, or there is no money collected more than 10%. The buyer only wants to cancel the property because he's in a financial distress. As you said, I have less salary now, or my income sources have been reduced due to COVID-19, and I don't want to continue with the property, or the home loan has not been granted to me. Now, in such a case, though, there will be not a lot of amount submitted by home buyer, first of all, which will be in 90% of the cases, 10%, which will be of the total cost value of the property. In that case, some amount will be deducted because RERA, though a welfare regulation, has also has to take account in the side of a developer or a builder who will also be facing harsh conditions due to COVID-19. And in other cases also where a property is being cancelled. So, but that deduction, now what that deduction would be and what percentage of the deduction could be made from booking amount has to be seen with time and again with different case laws coming. Now, in case of Omkar, they had deducted the EOI money, which is approximately 1 lakh, but they refunded the other amount. But you also see there is a very different factor in this particular case where Maharaja Tribunal allowed the refund of 6 lakhs, is that first of all, there was a mail by the agent stating an undertaking given by the real estate agent who facilitated the deal that in case home loan is not granted, the builder, we will refund your money. So though that obligation was undertaken by the real estate agent, the obligation was undertaken by a real estate agent on behalf of the developer because the booking amount would have been gone to the developer only. So in that case, the mail was of a very much relevance or by wherein Maharashtra Tribunal granted a refund. And the second factor you'll also see is that while granting refund, Maharashtra Tribunal never granted interest to that particular individual, whereas in the second case, which was discussed today, which is Tata Housing, the interest was granted. So in such a case, you will get your money back, but the percentage of money that you'll get back will depend on your application form, booking form, or any other commitment made by the developer or the real estate agent in case a real estate agent was involved in the deal, and will also depend upon the time period that you have taken to cancel the property. So this is something, there is no fixed answer to it, but there are few factors that you can always take in account, which I stated: application form, which should not have one-sided terms. Some money will be deducted, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs, which will be genuine for both the parties. And you will not get interest in most of the cases where you're canceling the property before entering into a contract of sale and there is obligation infringement on the part of developer.